Hey, I'm Mike, and this is the weekly recap for the first week of Season 4, April 23rd to 29th. So I don't know about you folks, but I felt really overwhelmed this week because I just didn't really know where I wanted to focus all of my time. Do I want to level up another character with time walking? Do I want to gear up through time walking on my mage or my warrior? Do I want to do Mythic 0 on my mage or my warrior? Do I want to do Mythic Plus on my mage or my warrior? Do I want to do LFR, mage, warrior, so on, achievements, and all that? Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And instead of taking a step back and kind of relaxing a little bit, I kind of leaned into that, and I think it kind of burnt me out a little bit, so I'm definitely going to take a step back this week, just so that way I'm not going as ham, because I just felt really overwhelmed and kind of stressed out, which is not what I want to feel when I'm playing WoW. I still had a bunch of fun, but I definitely want to not go as crazy as I did last week. I think the removal of time walking this week is going to help with that, because there's one less thing I can focus on, so we'll see how this week goes, but definitely going to take it a little bit more casual this week. Gearing wise with the vault, there was nothing good to start the week. I started off on my warrior doing all the time walking, which was the fastest I've ever done that ever. I think I finished all 5 dungeons in like 40 minutes. I had like 90-second DPS queues, which I've never seen before, which was amazing. From the weekly quest, I got a one-hander, which was really annoying because I'm Fury and I didn't need that, so that was really frustrating. And then I went to Black Temple and I got another one-hander, and at this point I was like, what is going on? Why do I keep getting these one-handers? And so I mentioned it in raid chat, and someone had told me, make sure you're spec to arms, because for some reason Fury gets one-handers. I don't know why, but okay, sure. So that was annoying, wasted 2 drops, which frustrating, but whatever. I ended up getting like 3 or 4 more upgrades from Black Temple, then throughout the week just pretty much upgraded almost all of my gear. I think the only thing I didn't touch were my 2 weapons, and I think one of my rings. Other than that, everything else got an upgrade. I started the week off at like 464 item level and ending it at 487.06, which was just such a high jump. I knew it was going to be quite a bit, but I wasn't expecting 20 item levels. Of course, I also did all the weekly quests on both my warrior and my mage, which was really awesome to see people back in those zones. Like, even just in general, I think the Feast and Dragonbane Keep were relatively popular even before this Season 4, but just seeing the amount of people at both of these things and the Grand Hunts as well was really cool to see. It felt like the expansion launching for the first time. On Wednesday, I also went out with my guild to do normal and then heroic Vault of the Incarnates, the awakened version of that. It's kind of funny because in my last video I was talking about how I want to get into like a casual raiding guild, and this week of raiding really reminded me why I wanted to be casual, because Wednesday we did all in normal and then everything except the last boss on heroic, and I could feel like the first hour I was with it, I was really gung-ho, let's do this. The second hour I was starting to fade, and by that third hour I was just hardly paying attention. It was so hard to keep focus, and by the end of the raid night I was so happy to be done for the week, because I knew that if I did do this again, like a full raid night the next night, I would have been so burnt out. So we went into the next night and got Razageth and Razageth, I don't remember the name, and like, I don't know, 2 pulls I think, and it was just so nice to like not have to worry about raiding longer than that. So that was really cool. Overall I really like Vault of the Incarnates, specifically the last boss. I don't know how people feel about that fight, but I absolutely love it. I only did it in LFR prior to this, so seeing it in normal and then heroic was just so cool. There's so much going on, it's so hectic, there's so many things to look out for. And I'm not always a fan of those types of fights, but for some reason this fight in particular was just so much fun. It was just always on my feet. It was just chaotic in the best way for me personally. So I don't know how everyone else feels about that fight, but I absolutely loved it. On top of that, I did I think 1 Mythic 0 and then 4 or 5 Mythic Pluses. On my warrior, I got up to a 456 Mythic Plus rating. I did a 3 Algoreth, an untimed form Uldaman, which that was just brutal. The last boss just sucks. And then a 2 Halls of Infusion. I think I did Halls of Infusion a few times. All of them were 2s, but I only did a few of those. Like I said, I was kind of really, by the time Mythic Pluses came around, I was already starting to feel that burnout, so I didn't want to push it too hard. I think next week I'm going to focus more on my mage and Mythic Pluses and let my warrior focus more on the raiding portion of the week. That way I'm doing both things, but they're each getting their own vault in a specific way, because I didn't end up doing almost anything on my mage outside of time walking, and I didn't even do a Mythic 0 on him, so I just did time walking both the dungeons and the raids. My goal this season is to get at least whatever rating it is to get the mounts. I'd like to get that. I feel like I have a few months to do that, so that should be fine. I think the majority of my gear is going to be coming from Mythic Pluses, because my guild is going to be still using a lot of the awakened gear for progression in Mythic. So before I'm able to start rolling on that as a friend and family member, it's probably going to be a while, so just focusing on Mythic Plus for that. It'd be nice if I could run the rest of the dungeons as well, because like I said, I've only run 3 dungeons this week, so I don't really have a good grasp of what all of the dungeons feel like, but I can tell you for sure that I did not like Alderman. It just felt way too long, and especially that last boss, I don't know, the swirly things you have to soak. I don't know if it's just maybe my group was bad or what, but it just sucked. That last fight was brutal. On my mage, I got quite a few upgrades as well, some pretty good ones, which brought my item level up from 436 to 464.75, so almost 30 item levels, so quite a large jump in item level for him. He's pretty similar where almost all of my gear I upgraded. I think there's a few 424 pieces that I didn't upgrade, but overall, like that's quite a big jump, which I'm happy about. Hoping this week I can swap out the rest of the 424 gear with something a little bit more up to date. If I'm focusing on Mythic Plus on this guy, it would be nice to see him go up to about 480 this week, but we'll see how that works out. With my Warriors item level, I'm not too concerned about it. It'd be kind of nice if I could get to 490, but I'm not really hard pushing for that this week. On top of that, I was also leveling another mage I have, an Undead Frost Mage, which I just forgot how cool Undead are. I haven't played an Undead in forever, and it's just, they're so cool. So he started at level 55. I've got him up to level 67 now, just through time walking, which it was like one level per dungeon up to level 60, and like one level every other once I got to level 60. Leveling him up to get to level 70 as quickly as possible, ideally, because I'd like to get he has the legendary from Cataclysm, the Terragosa's Rest or whatever it's called. Not Rest. Whatever that legendary is, it lets you become a dragon. So I want to get the mount that you get for having that. So I need him to get level 70 so I can get that. But it's just crazy how fast he was leveling. So I might focus on him a little bit this week, but with time walking on, I don't really know how much of that I'll do. But let me know how your week went. Let me know how far you got in Awakened. If you ended up getting into Mythic a little bit, what gear you got, what your IO got up to this week. Let me know what you thought of the first week of Season 4, because it was just action-packed for me. For achievements, I started the week at 37,945 and I'm ending the week at 38,320, so I cracked that 38k on the road to 40k slowly but surely. So that's 375 points. It's not as much as I got last week, but it's still decent. There were a few long outstanding achievements that I got. So I got the A-Leg Camp achievement to help them move 3 times, which was kind of annoying timing wise. I got the That's Pretty Neat achievement, which took a little bit just getting all rares. I got the Cavern Clobbering achievement, which just sucks because you have to kill all the Zeralek Caverns rares with a specific item. This item you can buy on the auction house, but it has a hour-long cooldown and it lasts 10 minutes. So it was just really frustrating going through that sometimes because I would have a rare up that I needed for the achievement, but I didn't have the ability to use that item. So that was kind of annoying, but I got that done. And then this week I just absolutely popped off on everything related to the World Awoken achievement for Taivan. I had a lot of stuff left to do in Forbidden Reach, but I was almost done the majority of the achievements. So I got all the regular treasures done. I finished off the last of the 100 treasures. I finished off the journals, the books. I've opened up 150 vault doors, and then I had 30 scrolls left for the Scroll Hunter achievement. And I think that not all grinds are created equal, because this achievement, I don't know why, even though it took an hour, I just felt like this grind just was so much longer than that. I didn't like it at all. But I got that, and I'm just so glad that's over. So that finishes off Forbidden Reach. I just have some pets, and I think a couple more Drake cosmetics to get out of there, but achievement-wise, I'm done. Then for Zeralek Caverns, I went through and got all the treasures as well as Renown 20, so I finished that meta. Same with Dream On, I had to finish planting seeds in different spots as well as the treasures there, so I got that one too. Spent about an hour getting the Winter Pelt rep people to Exalted, so got that done. And at this point, all I have left is to get level 20 for the Emerald Dream reputation, which I might get this week, but that's probably going to be next week because I'm like, I think halfway through Renown 18, so I think I get like 1 Renown per week. So I feel like this week is not going to be that, but I'm not too concerned because the other achievement I have is Army of Fed. And that one is going to take at least 3 weeks to get because it's the one that get like 5 different fishing spots. I have 3 left. So again, 3 weeks. And I think one of them is Grim Tusk is the one I need, which apparently is kind of a rare one of all the 5. So I hope that's not going to be that rare, but that's all I have left for that achievement, so that'll be coming hopefully in the next month or so. I also went back to Shadowlands, and did a few Korthia achievements as well as some Zereth Mortis achievements, so continuing to work on that throughout the week. This week, upcoming for achievements, I'm going to be working on the Northrend Cup. That's active starting today, so make sure if you haven't got those achievements, you're working on that. If I counted right, I think there's 120 achievement points available to get, so make sure you're getting that. Last week, I said I was going to work on the snails for the Glimmerog Racer achievement. I didn't even touch those at all, so I'd like to get started on those just so I can start grinding out that rep outside of the daily quest. I didn't do a whole lot of Drake cosmetic stuff, but I did get a few more that I was missing. No achievements, I don't think though. So continuing to work on that. And I think one of the things that's going to make this week feel a little bit more casual is working on the Pet Battle Collection achievements. So collecting everything from the Dragon Isles, and probably gonna have to go back to, I think I'm gonna do Pandaria because I think that's when I have the most pets to collect on. So I might go back to Pandaria and collect all the pets there, or just start working on collecting all the pets there. This week for mounts, unfortunately nothing dropped from dungeons and raids, so yet another week of Dragon Soul. Maybe before the Leafs win their next cup, I'll get that, hopefully. But just quantity-wise, this was a pretty good week for mounts for me. I got the Eclipse Dragonhawk for 5,000 time walking badges, which is the last vendor mount that I needed, so all that's left is the Time Reaver, which I'm just convinced doesn't exist. The Dragonhawk needs some better textures though, because it just looks rough. I got the Mossy Mammoth from the Zeskara Vaults. with my renown going up to level 18 with the Emerald Dream, I ended up getting 8 mounts from them. So I got the 5 from the Seed Blooms, 2 from renown, and 1 from the Dream Infusion. So I think I just have 2 more Dream Infusion mounts left, as well as the 1 from planting the seeds. I finished some more Dream Surges and I ended up getting the renewed Magma Mammoth. Looks kind of nice. And then the last mount I got was the Seething Slug from Zeralek Caverns, and it only took me about 15 minutes to finish. I got it on Saturday night. It was about midnight and I was gonna log off, go to bed, but I thought I'm just gonna see how you get this mount, see what's up. After reading about it, I figured it's probably gonna be less busy in Zeralek Caverns after midnight or early in the morning, so I'm just gonna go just do a quick lap around the area, see if I can find any of these orbs. One of the first places I checked, there was an orb, and then about a minute later I found another place that had 1 more orb. So at that point I had 1 more orb to get, and I mean of course I'm gonna stay up at that point. Flew around for a little bit more, and then within like 15 minutes of logging in I had the mount, so it wasn't really that difficult. Any tips that I have for you, just do it late at night or early in the morning, because again, less people going for that mount and higher chance you're gonna get it. In other news, outside of WoW, I started watching The Last of Us, which I'm finally getting what all that hype was about that show. It is just fantastic. I'm only 3 episodes deep, but just, my god, that's so good. No spoilers, but episode 2 with the blind zombies was just a masterclass in suspense building. And Bella Ramsey is just such a fantastic actor. They just are so good at making it sound like they're not reading a script. They're actually real people. I just love that. Continuing on the Jim Carrey filmography, I watched I Love You Philip Morris, which it was okay, I guess. It kind of had like a Catch Me If You Can vibe to it, which I would rather just watch Catch Me If You Can. And I've also watched Mr. Popper's Penguins, which I never even heard about, but I enjoyed it. It was kind of like a family comedy movie, just heartfelt, lovely, funny, kind of really funny at times. And just overall a good movie that I would watch again. So that was season 4 for me. Like I said, it was pretty overwhelming, a little bit hectic for me. So I'm gonna try to take a step back this week and try to be a little bit more casual, so I'm not just completely going headfirst into that just constantly. I think focusing on the Awakened raids with my warrior is going to be fine for the vault, and then doing LFR as well as Mythic Plus on my mage will kind of get the best of both worlds there, and then kind of sprinkling in some achievements and pet battles and stuff like that, and mount runs of course throughout that is going to be kind of filling out the rest of the week for me. But that is it for me. Again, let me know what you thought of the first week of season 4, whether it was Awakened raids, Mythic Plus, achievement hunting, mounts, what you're working on, what are you trying to get, what did you get, anything. Just let me know down below in the comments what you're working on, and love to read it.